bills. Start with the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming, everybody. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting and the special meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second
Yes. Communications, Dolly.
From Myers Equipment, we got the invoice for the truck. Where are we on this, please?
The truck is now completed and you may pay the invoice.
You happy with everything?
I took it down, it went down and was down there while I was on vacation the beginning of last week. And I picked it up, well, I was going to pick it up Wednesday. I ended up picking it up Thursday. My checklist was completed, and the only thing left to do on the truck is a couple of dash buttons that are already in there. I got to go in there and program them to the equipment that was put onto the truck. So it has to go down to Dodge to get the computer sensitive to those equipment that it's running, and also I'll have the truck realigned at that time because now we have the bed and everything on it. We can get it lined up to that weight, and it's at 3,000 miles, so I'll probably have them change the oil and go over everything for the first oil change.
It's a hoist, the hitch, the connectors, the wheel fenders, all that stuff was...
Yeah, everything completed. The only thing that the poly fenders that were on it, they repositioned them. They look much better now. He said those are the right ones for that wheel size, which now that they put the brackets on properly, it does look much better. We did ask for a latching system instead of the pins on the top of the tailgate. Swanson doesn't make a smaller latch system. He missed out on the specs from the get-go. I said the pins are fine. Well, you know, that wasn't an issue to die on. We got the front mud flaps put on, got the dual action hoist put in underneath the bed. What else was on there? Needed a dual plug system for the brakes and the trailer lights. That was installed. And there was a couple little things like the lift handle was loose. They got that tightened up and things like that. So we're good. Like I said, the next stop was just to get it down to Dodge to get it hooked on the computer to get it sensitive to new equipment put on and realigned.
Okay, now, on that one, there's another invoice here for $1,050.28.
Don't know. Additional charges or what?
Well, it looks like it.
It shouldn't be. There should be no additional charges.
Running boards.
Oh, running boards, yes. That was so long ago, I forgot about that one.
Okay.
There was no running boards put on the specs. That was one thing I missed. $1,000 for running boards.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Install the winch on top of doghouse for the lift cylinder. They charged for
That
that.
shouldn't be. That should be in the original bid.
Fair charge for that?
Mm-hmm. $312.14 for that. And the running boards were $738.14.
$700. You buy any running boards lately, Ricky?
Looks like they cost
They're stainless. No, they're stainless steel with black.
$666
That's probably not bad price.
for them, and then labor.
Labor was $72.
Mm-hmm.
The labor's fair.
For the running boards.
I'd say the labor's fair. That's just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But not the
The
winch.
Yeah, the winch was in the original bid.
Just give them a call.
Okay, now I think this one checks out against the PO that's out there.
Okay.
That's what I was looking to see if I still had
Yeah.
mine in here, and I think I took it out.
Do you have?
I have one over in the
Do
office.
you have the appropriation status report there, Jody, by any chance?
What number?
A year and a half ago.
There should be a carryover from last year. Appropriation status. Okay, this is that one. Yeah, that's okay, it doesn't matter.
June.
And we have from last month and I took out because.
I put it up. Okay, that's July. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was June's. It was June's, yeah.
Yeah. Spreadsheets off.
It should be a whole carryover item, you know, because it was carried over from last year.
From last year.
What's it under?
It's the truck fund.
I feel like it's right in front of us, and we're not seeing it.
I know, but it's got its own fund. I think yeah.
License, gas, road bridge, cemetery,
Yeah.
levy, permissive.
Should be. Oh, you know why? Because we we couldn't appropriate it, because it's a carryover from last year.
Okay, so it's not in the appropriation.
No. Okay. But I can't remember what it is. It should be right here. For some reason, this doesn't show it. Oh, here it is, right there. 4901,
The big one that says,
right here. Okay, that's for 3172, right, Jay?
yep.
Okay, and this is for 24,815.
What is it, 49?
One.
Because we didn't make a separate chassis payment when we got the chassis, did we? It was all supposed to be one payment.
Was it 24?
24,815. What's the difference there?
Let me get my calculator. $5,357. Maybe they're giving us a good customer discount.
I don't know.
Did you figure in the running boards at the time? I mean, I mentioned that 20 years ago. And I said it'd be, I don't even remember, I think I said $500, but
I don't know.
30,072.
Mhm.
also I can go get a little more chrome then, is what you're telling me.
You know, like maybe it's from Britain.
When was it?
Well, in the packet, don't they have their,
I've got the rundown at home.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at, maybe.
I have it over on the computer too. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
it's too long for the memory banks to think back.
Yeah, especially with everything that's going on. Okay, check into this. Okay, from Otarma, time to renew insurance. And Rick had some questions here on the replacement cost of the 2011 KME. Now, I sent you a copy, did I not, of his response, Rick?
Yeah.
All right, so what are you thinking from that? What do you guys think?
I think we're all right because of the blanket coverage, you know what I'm saying?
You said it.
are you talking about the building or talking about?
The truck.
On the
The
truck.
truck.
The truck, but see, he says, and this is the sentence that gets me. Let's see, what did he say?
He said that it would be covered,
Covered because of,
the items that are attached to the piece of equipment are covered, that have a separate policy, that are listed separately.
Mm-hmm.
That would take care of a portion, but anything that was not listed separately that was on the truck, that's why I asked for that list.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see the cost of what that is, plus the actual cost of the engine, that would give you the cost of where you needed to be for replacement value.
but then he says, you still get replacement cost in the vehicle.
That's all I'm
That being
concerned.
said,
That's all I'm concerned about.
we should attempt to use the proper replacement cost value on each piece of apparatus.
See, I don't like that idea.
And
Don't,
see, that's,
don't miss the words.
Too vague.
Either you have replacement costs or you don't.
yeah,
Well, replacement cost, but I think with replacement cost, what they're showing is the value that they have, which actually is our purchase price, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
That's on there.
Yes.
So that's, and we never changed it. So
Right.
obviously, if the cost of replacing that vehicle has gone up, then you need to change that value
Then
to
you
the
need to stay with
replacement cost
600,000.
value.
you know, he's saying, yeah, we're okay. We would be covered, but
It's better for accuracy to have numbers that are closer to what it's really going to be.
Yeah, and those, the line items, I didn't pull any of that into the value of that truck. You're gonna pay almost $600,000 to replace that truck.
with the stuff that's attached to it.
No, because those are all line items. Your JAWS, your SCBA's, all that stuff are
But
line items.
that's line item separate, that's got
Right,
its
so
own
that,
separate
you
policy,
don't
so
even
you
count
don't,
that.
right.
Right.
So,
Just the vehicle
what we're
itself.
The
talking
vehicle
about
itself.
is the 500,000
You say 600.
Mhm.
just for,
The
The
vehicle.
truck
The
itself.
vehicle.
Yes.
all
But he
right,
said anything that is attached to, permanently attached to it is considered part of the vehicle.
Right.
Right, that's
Right.
not listed, has its own separate policy,
Right.
listed separately.
Right.
so we should raise this to 600,000.
So all the portable stuff is at 160,
Right.
with a maximum loss
Wow.
of 3,500.
Right.
For one item.
Right.
So that's okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
One thing was just the replacement of the truck. That was my concern.
Okay.
Okay.
To the other, you have that, or value that is approximate right price.
Okay,
Like the JAWS, the SCBA's, all that stuff.
okay,
Those are all good.
okay. And then all the rest of the equipment, you're okay with the
Yeah.
replacement cost?
Yeah. And the only other thing was the building. I think that's low on the building.
Well, his response on the building was the fact that it's blanket coverage with
Right.
all the buildings, they would be able to kind of, you're not going to have the entire,
Right.
so you could
Yeah.
take for one incident, for one claim, for one building from the other.
That's fine.
Is that acceptable with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want you to know that if something, you get a tornado, anything knock it down or burn down, whatever, you're not gonna replace it for what the set of valve is on there. It's gonna cost you more.
Right, and he's saying, yes,
Yeah.
that probably, you know, again, while we attempt to use the replacement cost of each and every building, the blanket limit does allow some room if we are off a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, 'cause, you know,
You know what
I
I
don't have
like?
$50,000 in the fire fund to, you know, shuck out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. What I was thinking is, let's just say there was a disaster at the fire station, it burned, all three of these buildings are gonna go.
Right. So what are you gonna do with that little extra, the coverage? The
They
blanket?
don't give us an option in there of an actual cash replacement value, right?
On the building,
On all of that, actual, the letters ACV, actual cash value.
let's see.
But I know I changed a lot of my own personal insurance to ACV.
It's real property limit, and, let's see, 158 is 97.5. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The fire station.
Yeah. It's gonna cost
It
you at
just
least
says
$50,000.
real property limit.
When's the last time that was ever changed? I don't think we've ever changed the
Never.
buildings since.
I-
Whole thing.
That's what they assessed it at years ago. and
I
Yeah.
thought we did not too long ago.
The vehicles we did.
Did we?
The vehicles, but I don't think we did for the buildings.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, 'cause where's my vehicles at? I mean, obviously, we know the cost of the,
Right.
the one
Yours
time.
are at,
and then the international, well, Goshen just bought their international at $135,000, so
yours are not replacement costs, I hate to
Yeah.
tell you this.
that's all right. I only need one good vehicle.
Yours are at depreciated value.
They're getting old.
And we asked.
That's what I was reading over, but that's, yeah.
Can we ask them to give us prices on bumping the limits up like 100,000, another 100,000, and see what it comes out at?
Actually, the premium is not going to be affected that much
Right.
with Otarma. And he did answer that when you asked about upping the deductible, yeah. And they will not over-insure
Right.
anything. Of course, still underinsured,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
1.5?
What?
1.5
For what?
for the building?
$1 million
Fire
to
station?
build a fire station?
Well, it's with the contents and the blanket value is 1.5 for everything. So like she said, if this goes down, all three of them are something catastrophic.
Oh,
Oh, because it would be the vehicles and everything inside too, right?
I want mine
Or
first.
is that separate?
Well, the vehicles would be separate.
Yeah. Just the building.
So we go from $95,000 for building
No, our
coverage.
blanket value is 1 million right now.
Oh, for all three buildings.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, the three buildings, the tower, the road garage down on 534, I mean, that's all, everything
Doesn't seem like
is a
enough.
million.
That doesn't seem like enough, really. Could we double that?
What's our
Oh.
deductible dollar?
You think that would be over?
500.
You know, if you shoot that up to 10,000 or something like that, deductible, surely, God, that's gotta make a difference. Don't you think?
10,000?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, push comes to shove, if you
I could afford
gotten into an emergency.
emergency, I can get $10,000 out of our fund.
I think.
Except for
I
if you
think-
get that
I
$5,000
mean,
damage.
5,000 would
Yeah.
be more than sufficient.
Yeah, that's what you,
Not as much, but if we lowered.
But that's what he was saying, the deductible isn't gonna lower it that much.
Portion.
It
I find that hard to
doesn't
believe.
justify,
Huh?
it doesn't justify the amount of money that you're gonna lose if you have one claim.
When do we have to have that in? Yesterday?
See, like your imaging cameras and stuff are all scheduled. Well, you saw this.
right,
yeah.
mine,
You
yeah.
saw that.
How about this? How about if we just go ahead and renew it now, and in the meantime, because
there's nothing that prevents us from changing it. We just have to pay a difference in the price. To satisfy the deadline, go ahead and do it, and then do an assessment on what it would be to replace the buildings, and then at that point, if we need to raise it, we can raise it
All right.
midterm.
And ask the question as far as the deductibles and get set prices.
And then we can further go into it right there, but for right now, but just keep it on a priority list to go through that, because
We probably need Trent to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I will see.
Yeah, and that way he can really assess it. But I would change that price on that truck.
All right.
30,000.
Okay, guys,
Okay.
to the 600,000. I mean, do you want to change the fire station or any of the buildings
I don't
now?
know.
wait.
or-
No, I'd rather wait and look into it and see what we're looking at.
And throw it all at him at once with the higher deductible?
Because if we have decisive amounts of what it's going to be to replace it, then he's going to be able to give us a better idea of what our premium's going to be and what our deductible should be, and the more information we have, I think the better off we'd be before we start changing a bunch of things.
Okay, and I had another question, Rick, on, we do have 2 rescue sets on here.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah.
thought we had 2,
One's Blanca,
okay.
one's Antis.
And the 12 Scott air packs,
Mhm.
I mean, they could be any 12. They're not like serial numbers where they have to be taken
Yeah, they're
off
NXG2s.
and all that kind of stuff. I'm asking for
Their
inventory.
inventory.
Their
They got
inventory, so-
inventory numbers, so.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have, by any chance, a dollar amount on inventory, Cal?
No, because it's so busted up even when I redid it. There's so many things that don't have a value to it.
You know,
I mean, now, so over the last 3 years, everything entered and re-entered, has where it's purchased and how much it cost and all that stuff, but things in the past, there was no record of that.
right?
Or,
You would
we
have-
could dig forever and get the record, but.
I mean, you'd almost have to sit and go per item and go online. and
So with
see what's-
inventory though, is it replacement value? So if you say you have 50 chairs, they replace you with 50 chairs, or you have to show a receipt and they reimburse you for 50 chairs of what you paid back in 1900s?
The contents is usually what, half the value of the structure?
Okay.
Is that,
Yeah.
I think. And so, that's what you would get if it was a total loss.
Okay.
And the contents are listed on here.
So our contents all collectively should be $500,000 then, since the total building value is $1 million, right?
Easily.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from, Rick, because the recycling garage is at 58.5, and the station is at 97.5. There's a big difference there.
There's no way.
There's more room in the recycling.
True.
That's not a discussion we're getting into tonight, just telling you right now. Yeah, I think that if we just, for right now, I just raised the cost. My idea would be to raise the cost for the replacement value for the new truck, leave everything the same, and assess the cost of the buildings, get a kind of a generic idea where we want with the inventory, and then change it after we've already renewed it, and then they could just pay the difference in the premium then.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm wrong on this. Here, Rick, 300,000.
That's still cheap.
For the,
I had the road garage, the addresses
Yeah, that's still cheap.
mixed up here. Okay,
so
I was
the,
thinking about 500,000 for that.
304.
Yeah,
Is what
that's
it
still
is.
low.
I don't know how much it costs to build a fire station, so I couldn't tell you.
I'm sorry.
All right, we have a motion to increase to 600,000, keep everything staying the same for now. Second.
Second.
Okay, and then, okay, let's see. Who did that?
Jenny.
Jenny? Okay, Jenny. Okay, is it all right then if I use on here the number of firemen and stuff that we used for that other application?
Yeah, the one I just gave you. Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
That's up to
okay.
date.
That's
Okay,
good.
all right. Okay. All right, we'll get him out here then sometime in the near future. Okay. Okay, from the Board of Health, we received a copy of a letter that was sent to the residents at 16082 Mock Road. She has not kept up on what she was supposed to do there, so she's been called before the Health Commissioner.
Angelo, I'm sorry?
I was going to say, was there a result?
Angelo called me after actually the court appearance. She didn't pick up the certified letter, but she did come to the hearing. And in the hearing, and originally when he called me was before the hearing, saying that he assumed she wasn't going to come, so then it would have been up to us to decide if we wanted the Board of Health to go ahead and condemn the property. And with doing so, then that would give us the pathway to become available if we wanted to be involved in the process of a demolition with it being a condemned property. But she showed up for the hearing, so he called me afterwards, said they gave her another 30 days. She's going to try to stick with it. She's being required to remove the trash, board the house, cover any openings, get rid of the vehicles. There's vehicles around the property, and they're giving her 30 days to do that. Or they're going to ask her to come back in for another hearing. So,
And that would be from the July 21st meeting, 30
August.
days from then?
August 13th.
I'm sorry, okay, yeah, that was when they visited.
Okay, right. That was from the...
What was the address on
16.
16082.
In the middle of the afternoon.
On August 13th, okay.
So they gave them another 30 days. So at this point, it's still kind of on hold, and at this point, there's nothing they need from us at this point.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the house is already, it's fit to be condemned because it hasn't been maintained.
Okay. From ODNAR, we received notification that there's going to be a well drilled on the Eschler property, and they've got, this is Dorfman, and it is not a shale well. It is a Clinton well. Okay, and everything is here. I really didn't realize that they were going to notify us on the Clinton well.
Well, they're supposed to notify
Now,
us for all of us.
Now it's everything.
Everything?
Well, we had to sign up for that notification
Yeah.
from ODNR. So
Yeah.
anytime there's a permit pulled, we're supposed to get notified.
Okay.
What's the address on the building?
No, it's Berlin Bedell and Leffingwell.
Yeah. And it looks like they're not going to be using any township roads.
Right.
So. Okay, copies of letters that were sent out for the memorial tree dedication by Jody. I think that's all I have, Jason.
Motion to approve July financials.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second it.
Shenandoah culvert replacement. We had our special meeting last Monday, the 11th. We opened up 3 bids. The lowest being Bob Hines at $24,000.
We need to talk about that. We need a motion.
I wanted to ask Sean, this quote includes everything that we met about? And
Everything we discussed.
The ODOT, I mean, you had a 4x4 catch basin, you got the ODOT?
Yeah.
Great. No. Okay.
And the 2-piece doesn't have it's got a second top, so we glue it down, seal it, pour concrete to flip back.
Do the invert and all that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we had some appropriation status that we could pull from. We need that in the motion as well.
Yes, that's fine. I'll make it a separate motion.
Okay.
And that would also include the workers' compensation certification along with the liability insurance,
All that, yeah.
with Berlin Township being named as additional insured.
Okay.
Okay.
So that meets all the requirements in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll need a W-9,
Okay.
which I can give you.
You give it to me, I'll give it to him.
Sure.
And OPERS?
Well, no, as long as it's a company.
Okay.
As long as we're paying a company.
Yeah, you're paying a company.
The OPERS doesn't come into.
Okay.
Like it's gonna be reported on some, not a social security number.
He's a business ID number.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We have a motion to go with Bob Himes Construction at $24,000.
I'll make a motion to go for a low bid of $24,000 from Bob Hines.
I'll second.
Yes.
Okay. Now, to pay for it.
There'll be bake sales.
I thought it was a freebie, so we can see what kind of work he does first.
Yeah.
Yes? He said yes, I thought so. That is being recorded.
I don't need to
Now,
practice.
since we are, and I'm assuming this is what you want to do, is just transfer some money around from one line item to another, we will not need to get an amended certificate from the county auditor, but we will need to make that motion. We had to get the amended certificate for the other that I sent in for because of the cemetery money and everything was changed around. Our bottom line was changed. This is not going to change our bottom line. We're just going to go without milk and bread for a while.
Okay. So, it's two.
The machinery, equipment, and furniture, we have no year-to-date expenditures on that. That's the whole 10,000 right there.
All right, you want to take that whole 10 then?
Or do we need to
Wait a minute,
leave?
there's only 5,000 in that, isn't
Well, we haven't spent anything. There's a blanket certificate open out there for
Yeah. For the
5,000.
year-to-date expenditures is what we're looking at. That's how much we spent. This is how much was encumbered for the,
It's in
right, for, yeah, but this
Yeah.
is what she appropriated in the appropriations.
Yeah, 10 is what we had originally
So we have
appropriated.
5,000 we're allowed to spend out of there, but we can go with the whole 10, but that's what we've spent so far.
it? Okay. Rather than to take the, okay, I see what you're saying.
So,
What do you think?
Yeah.
Take the whole
Take
10?
the whole 10 and then...
No, we don't need carryover balance in there to keep it open. We can just leave it at 0.
Right.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And the rest from the
So we're going
improvement
to pull it out of
of
the
sites.
1,760,740.
Yeah.
And then the rest from the improvement of sites.
Which would be,
730.
14,000.
yeah, 14,000 then from the 760,730 in the general fund. Okay.
So we have that motion?
I'll make that.
I'll second
Okay.
Kevin will be out there, point guy. He expects breakfast in the morning.
Right? He's bringing us breakfast?
No, he expects it.
Okay, we're going to get a contract signed, I'm assuming, okay. When all the paperwork's turned in, Sean, I'll be glad to give him a purchase order.
Okay. Give me what you got, I need to give him, and I'll see him
There should be an
tomorrow.
extra copy of the actual contract that's on there, right? Yeah, that one.
The whole harmless on there too, or no?
I don't think I have a whole harmless in there now.
Okay. Or the W-9, which needs to come from me, that's okay. As long as you take care of the contract, I'll take care of
Okay.
it.
Do you want everything at once then?
Yeah.
Okay. So is it being mailed to him or with your stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, that's fine, sure.
Okay.
Well, they'll sign it, our part here,
Okay.
and then I'll get the other paperwork and attach it to it, send it, and then you guys can send us back the signed
Okay.
stuff, okay?
Once we get everything back, then we...
We have our completion date on here, September 13th. We're staying with that completion date.
Yes.
Which one? I don't want to see Mr. do that anymore.
Wait till I close the road down, you'll see them.
What's that?
Wait till I close the road, you'll see them. Yeah.
All right. We've had a lot of water issues and complaints, and we were in the news and such. And I just want to say that that road is not our road. That's a county road. We're trying to maintain our ditches and on our roads. If we can't, acts of God or whatever you want to call it, those 3 inches of rain in an hour we can't contend with. But I just want to put that on the record that that one wasn't ours. And our former trustee did meet with that resident at one time with the county engineer over that bridge, and so she's going to talk to cemetery, tree removed.
All 3 trees are removed, stumps ground, cleaned up, topsoil hauled in and regraded and seeded.
Are we gonna
Looks-
replace the fence?
I was gonna ask that next to, I kinda like the way it looks
It looks nice.
now. I kinda thought maybe remove the other fence out of the way. Maybe
It
leave
looks
just the
nice.
center.
My only concern would be with the tree gone too, at least if the tree was there to keep any cars from getting in there off the road. Now with,
Well, the fence
there's still
don't-
those
yeah,
two
the
trees
fence don't
there.
stop. We proved that up north.
Yeah.
I don't know, just, I mean, think about it, maybe everybody drive down once the grass comes in, I mean, I can put the fence back up, and all it would cost us is
The chain link.
a roll of chain
I
link.
would just, if we were gonna change it, I'd rather see more white vinyl fence. in the
I was thinking like a 2-rail vinyl, so it's not as high as the 3
Right.
and come across. But, if you wanted to go with the fence too.
Well, we can see
Yeah,
what it looks
take a
like
look at
after.
it.
Take a look at it, keep an eye
I
on
thought it
it.
looks nice with the dirt, so.
Yeah.
It looks really like open there now when you drive.
Yeah,
you
it's, I
don't
can't
realize
believe how
much
well I
it-
cleaned it up. I mean, I know that dead tree was an eyesore, but just getting them other trees out, the trees that are in there now should have room to breathe a little more too. So, and while we're on the trees, we got rid of the pine stumps out here. I got to haul some more topsoil in there. Is there any issues with buying another load of topsoil? I know it took 3 loads to get that graded up good, so I wanted to check before I went and got some more. All right, so I'll get that in between rains, get that seeded and graded out there
In
too.
between rains.
January.
Yeah, and Mr. Boryak did a nice job. We also had a funeral while they were cutting those trees down, and he shut down for 45 minutes while
Wow.
the funeral went on and had no issue with that, so.
Wow.
Nice. The crack filling machine is in need of some repair.
We had a small fire in the crack fire machine. Just from being 30 years old, there's a hydraulic oil bath in there that the burner heats up to heat the oil up. Just from years of heating and expanding, it looks like it just has a lot of micro cracks in it, which allowed the hydraulic oil to leak out and catch on fire.
So the burner's got cracks in it?
Actually, the
The pot.
tank that holds the hydraulic oil that's heated to heat up the oil.
Tank that holds the oil.
And it's called a oil bath. It sits right underneath the tar pot and heats up.
Is it replaceable?
I gotta get down to Ripley's. Mike from Steelmaster did come in and take a look at it. He made it sound like it's really easy, but I don't think it was easy as he made it sound, because I looked at it. But I think it's something that Ripley can probably pull out and rebuild and replace.
Like reform it and make another pot?
Yeah, they would have to
basically?
make another steel tank and then put it back up in there. But I just got, I kind of just set it off to the side for now, because I didn't know what we had as far as cost to put into it, how much you guys wanted to put into it. I did check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's 30 years old, and it seems like every year we're putting another big expense into it. Of course,
Well, what
I
was
keep,
the new one?
I keep saying
They're
they're
expensive.
yeah, they're
I know.
expensive. I
Very
keep saying that nothing else can break on it because it's all new, but it keeps proving me wrong every year.
Well, but you laugh that once you get that done, and basically it's a new machine, I mean,
Yeah,
for the
I
cost to
think
buy
it-
brand new, and it's
I think we should
probably
take it down. I
hold
should
up better than.
take it down there and at
will
least
anyway.
let Ripley put it up on his lift. It's so low, it's hard for me to even crawl underneath it the way
What
it's
are
at.
you thinking?
No idea.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, he'd
I
give
mean,
us an estimate,
yeah.
wouldn't he?
yeah, Junior gave me an estimate, and he always treats us good, so
Mhm.
I don't think, I don't even know what.
I'd
If
What
he
to
rather,
couldn't do it, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would
Right.
tell us right
Right.
off the bat.
and I would rather
But-
see how much it's gonna
Yeah,
cost to.
Mike said the tank drops out, you remove the burner, the tank drops out, and he can just build a new burner or patch that one. I mean, if I take it to Ripley's, I'd have him build a whole new burner, not just patch it, or pot. I did talk to Steelmaster, and I did get a price to run a crack machine, just so maybe we can finish up. I got like 3 days of cracking left. I got the end of Leffingwell Road to finish, and Cook Road, in Mill Road yet, the niche crack sealed.
Okay, you didn't do any, some of it looked like it was new. Did you start and not finish, or just, you
On
didn't
Mill Road?
finish? Mhm.
No,
You haven't done anything?
nothing
Okay.
out there, just from what last year.
Okay.
And Mike said since we buy all this stuff and deal with them for so many years, $275 a day is what the crack machine costs. That includes rain days. They don't charge for rain days. And he was like, Kevin, for you, I'll just drop it off and come and get it in a week and a half, and you tell me how many days you used it.
Okay, Ellsworth is done?
Ellsworth,
we just
yeah,
have to
Ellsworth
do
is
ours?
done. I just have 2 to 3
Ours.
days on ours, yeah.
Yeah, I know as bad as the water and the rain and everything has been, I don't want to make it go another year.
Yeah.
Motion?
And we have the tar still left to
No,
finish them,
second.
so. All right, so I'll get that.
And you said you think you need about, what, 3 days?
3 days. I'm shooting for 2. So. You know how that goes. I'll break this machine too.
Okay.
And it's all right for me to go ahead and take that down to Junior and let him take a look at it, and we'll, okay.
Tell him not to do anything till.
Well, yeah, you gotta make sure
Yeah.
I've done that before.
He just-
Hey, can you give me a price? Oh yeah, it's done, Kevin. It's $1,000.
Okay. MCTA picnic is this Thursday at the fairgrounds. Kevin, you're going that same day in the morning to help set up the wall?
Yes, actually talked to Mr. Jacob back a couple weeks ago, and he's all ready for us. And
I'm
who else
supposed to
was it?
keep 'em-
Beaver and
Beaver, Goshen,
Oh, Goshen.
Milton.
Goshen got a funeral, so they won't be able to make it
Okay.
now. But everybody else will be
They
there.
know they have a funeral already?
Thursday.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
that's
just
right.
talked all to that.
Yeah, Beaver, Milton, Berlin, and there was one more,
Ellsworth.
Ellsworth, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
There
all
should
the
be
same
good.
guys that did it last year. So.
Oh, okay.
You know what you're doing.
Well, we were hoping
I
some
don't
of
know about that. But
We were hoping some of the other guys would come, so if there ever being a situation where it's not the same 4 road departments doing it all the time, that everybody would be able to go and do it,
That'll
but
never
I know.
Everything else.
Yeah.
Memorial Tree Garden is this Sunday at 2 p.m. Pastor Mark will send a letter.
Mm-hmm.
We're making 3 dozen cookies each. You're bringing punch.
I'm bringing lemonade. We need a dish for the Township Association
Yeah.
Oh,
picnic.
I'm not sure I can make it, so.
I can have Mary Jim, I'll talk to her tonight. I talked to you guys before that.
You don't have to declare it with us, you can
Yeah,
make whatever
wait.
you want.
She
If you want to
can
make it,
come.
she can do it, yeah.
She can
If you want to
come.
make anything, then I'll make.
Bob and Jared come.
She can come then.
Yeah, she can come.
Pick up some pizza from Blossers and G's on the way.
That'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. So you're going to handle that then?
I'll take that, like that. So.
Bring more than just enough for you and Mary Jo.
This is to share.
Yeah.
2 Tupperware
There you go,
containers.
yeah.
October 6th meeting, we're going to cancel. Bruce? October 6th, no meeting because somebody has to go on vacation.
And it's not Jason.
Not me
believe it
this
or
time,
not.
but maybe I'll try to play him on there too.
I'll check and see if there's pay that, because I'm going to be gone that whole week.
We're being different from normal.
Wow.
She misses one time.
In my whole life.
Your whole life.
My whole life.
We had talked about that with Jason's the other day. When did you start?
88.
63? Oh, 88.
60.
And Halloween is usually on the October 31st, but due to a football game.
No,
this
Halloween is
weekend-
still on October
Yes,
31st. We
but
just
our
do trick or
Halloween, our
treat.
trick-or-treating, we're talking about
That's the
moving.
same as football game.
That's why we're gonna move
Yeah,
it.
that's
It's
the
for
last game of the year.
Senior night.
And that was my other concern,
Senior
fire
night, yeah.
department's there, so they couldn't
Yeah.
do the after party
So what would
anyways.
you think about Thursday before?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like the night before?
Yeah, the 30th,
That's fine.
5 to 7. Everybody up here good with that?
October 30th.
Can you finish your
5.
costume by then?
Are we doing that this year?
5 to 7.
From 5 to 7, are you going to do the fire department party afterwards?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And I'll put that in the roundup. She let me wait till tonight to,
Okay.
so we can put that in.
She's waiting for a lot of people.
Yeah, they can coordinate as well.
I didn't get my 2 articles in either.
Okay. Next meeting is September 15th at 7 p.m. Jody?
Okay, I called State Alarm. They didn't call me back. I have to call this Amy to set a schedule. I don't know what you had in mind for what you were doing, so do you want me to give you the number and you can schedule it? I don't know if you even need to be here for them to come and replace the camera.
Or you can just call her and schedule it whatever day, you know. As long as
Okay.
I have a little heads up, I can be here, or
Okay,
Angel can be here.
okay,
So
okay.
we got a couple options.
Okay, and then we did trick or treat, and I see the stone is ready from Love Monument.
Yes.
Thank you for going to get
Definitely.
that.
Got this down here in Love Monument.
The tax exempt notice that we got from the IRS is not the form that we asked for.
Imagine that.
Berlin Township owes no taxes, that's what it tells me.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm
So,
glad to
yeah.
know
Good.
that.
Yeah, so I'm not real sure if they understand what we're asking for, if you want me to try
I'm sure
again,
they
or
don't.
we'll just get us supplies for the fire department.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
I
just
don't
say
know.
Berlin Fire Department when you get it.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll
how
try.
much more clear could you be?
I just told her I wanted our certificate stating that we were tax exempt, and that's what I thought we were getting. She was very helpful, but anyway.
Put the wrong information.
But the wrong number, yes, okay. We're out of ink for our printer. I ordered that, and I have to have it sent to the house because they won't send it to a P.O. box.
Right.
So as soon as I get that, I'll put it in so the fax machine will begin to work because we're like out of black ink.
Okay.
I called the county regarding the culvert at Heiser and Goodell. Kevin went down there, put some gravel there, and repositioned the stop sign. Kevin also gave me the information. John Gillespie from the county called and said that because we had to put gravel and he had to take time to go do that because it was due to the Sunoco trucks backing down our road to make the U-turn. They're grinding out the sides of the road so not staying on the road, so they said that we could submit a bill. They'll make some note, Sunoco pay for Kevin's time and our materials and the truck time. But that being said, while I was down there looking, there's a hole about the size of a baseball where the
Through the
culvert is,
culvert.
and it's growing as we speak, and you can see the water running through, and that's the culvert that they've been monitoring since
Oh,
Mr.
forever.
Marzico was there.
Yeah.
They'll just blame that on Sunoco as well.
Well, no, I told them they've been monitoring it for years, and they're gonna have to do something with it because it's gonna cave in soon. It's really bad. So I'm waiting for a call back from him. I did not get that today.
Okay, so on the bill to, who do I give that to? The county? Because this is going to be through the RUMA, I'm assuming?
Right, John told me just to keep track of what it
Okay.
is. And Kevin sent that to me. I might have to have you send that to me again because I think I deleted it, but I think I wrote it down in my stuff.
Okay,
Like,
also on that same, I hate being nitpicky, but they're also using our entire Heiser Road extension for parking vehicles, and they pull trucks up and, big trucks up and unload off the back well past that mark. I hate to nitpick, but.
I don't think it's really nitpicking, that's what.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, they got the guidelines there, and they are they're tearing that corner up
Oh,
pretty bad.
it's
And I was
terrible.
down there this
It's
morning.
rutted down that far,
I was
and
down there
it's
this
full of water.
morning, and it's even worse now, and they were in there this morning, so you can see the mud
And they're
out of the
just throwing
ditch
this in the
onto the
and
road,
going,
and-
it's
well,
terrible.
we're under
We know how
that
truck
RUMA
drivers are.
agreement, right?
Right,
Mhm.
but he was gonna
Wow.
call Sunoco and tell them they had to come and get some material on each side of the road because they're ruining
Those
the
that
side
can't
of the
operate
dell,
equipment
the
drive
draining part of the
trucks.
road, and also the Heiser extension. And like I said, Kevin went ahead and put material for that because we didn't want to take the chance of the stop sign falling over and them
I
staying out
actually
there.
took a picture of all the vehicles parked beyond
That's
us,
what my next
Oh,
thing is
good.
gonna be.
Okay,
so
Good.
so we can get in contact with
I just,
Mr. Janetti about that
You're
too.
I would
We'll get that
really
paved.
like to get that
We'll get that
300-foot paved, even if it's
Yeah.
just the top coat.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
quit telling all the fire department guys to stop parking down there now.
And I can't do the invoices for the grants until I get the weights from the electronics. Do I need to call somebody or?
I'll call them tomorrow. I
I
actually
need
forgot
weights before
for electronics.
they want, for the invoicing for the
Oh,
grants.
oh.
Our two grants
Okay.
from the collection.
Okay.
I can't send that without the weights.
Right.
So to invoice them, I need those. That's kind of what I've been waiting on.
Yeah, and I had to call them twice last year.
Okay.
And that's just for the electronics?
I
you
have
need to wait
everything.
Yeah,
for?
I have
everything
everything
else
else.
is up for electronics.
Everything else is ready, then I can do that as soon as we do. So, we got a call this week from Joel Hunt from the Ohio Department of Transportation regarding our railroad tracks without automated arms and lights that have the yield signs. They're going to be changing all those yield signs over. This change of state law requires them to have stop signs put on them. And at this point, except for 534, I believe it's Western Reserve, Leffingwell, Berlin Station, Weaver, and Duck Creek, all have yield signs. If we have an objection, or do we want to be exempt from this for traffic issues, safety concerns, I believe that stop signs are probably a better idea than even the yield signs, and I don't believe that's going to cause any traffic congestion on any of those roads I just named. 534 does have the lights, and they don't have yield signs, so that would not apply. So
All the other townships are all going with it too. so
right, and they're
all the
taking
other
care of,
townships
they're changing the signage and everything. We just need to call them back and let
and
them
say,
know
do it.
if we have a problem with any of them that need to be not changed.
So they would actually put
It's
a
a
stop sign?
Yeah, so you have to
You
stop
have to
now.
stop.
when
You
you're
have
on
to
Weaver
stop.
Road.
There's a yield sign right now. You'd actually be required to
It's,
stop
yeah.
at the stop sign now.
It's new Ohio law, so.
Yeah.
So is there any of those railroad crossings that we would have a concern about? I called them and told them we were having a meeting tonight, and I would call them back on Tuesday.
My sons will, because I can't jump Weaver Road anymore.
I know.
The one on Duck Creek's
Don't want-
We don't have to do the hazards right here.
Duck Creek is 50 miles per hour.
Uh-huh.
You can safely go.
Seems like a safety issue to me, put a stop sign there. People have been driving those railroad tracks for years. Now somebody's gonna stop, like, and the second person's gonna like, boom. They're gonna, I mean, I don't think it's a good deal.
Crossings anyway.
Stop looking, listen.
I mean, I think I'd appeal it and move
Are
on.
these railroad crossings ones that are paved over?
They're all paid for.
Yeah, even though they're
So
non-operational.
why are we stopping?
Because they're still considered active railroad tracks, they're not
Until they
vacated.
pull them off.
Is there an issue why we couldn't leave those without yield while they're paved over, and if they open back up as a railroad, then change it?
Well, then
They have to
they,
buy them then.
well, yeah, and the state law is, yeah, that we would be required to do that, but
Exempt that.
I don't know if that would be a good enough reason to be exempt. He didn't give the listing of what would actually be. We just have safety concerns, or because of congestion or traffic it would cause by having a stop sign in a certain area. I don't think none of that applies for those roads.
I think it's a safety issue.
I don't think it's a problem. They should be
Norfolk
stopping.
considers them an active track even though they're paved over.
Right, unless they're
Because
vacated, they're
Because
considered
I've
active
asked them,
track.
you know, I got several friends and I said, why don't you guys just pull the lights up there at 224? And it says, we can't.
The school bus still has to stop
Yeah.
and look both ways for
And that one's
trains.
not paved over, but, you know.
Actually, I think even if it's paved, unless it's
Yeah.
vacated,
Oh,
they're
that's
still
what I
required
said,
to stop.
even the ones that are paved
Oh,
over are
okay.
still
So
active.
if you put a stop sign at the railroad track and you don't stop, you're gonna end up with a stop sign violation?
If you don't
Yeah.
stop for the, anytime there's a stop sign,
They
you
have
have
to,
to have a
you
stop
know,
sign.
But if they're
Stark
gonna-
County has a lot. If you go over to Stark County, like in the Lions area, they have a lot already up with the stop signs.
But if they're gonna take
they have
the
that.
yield signs down, then there's gonna be nothing there. I think that's.
I think they have, by law, they have to switch the yield signs to stop signs, and the way he's understood, if it would cause
Yeah,
congestion,
there's
we can ask to be exempt, and it would keep the yield sign there.
Oh.
But I can't imagine if it's state law that just because we
They
don't
don't want it.
we don't want it, I don't think that that's going to give us
Yeah,
an
if it was close
exemption.
to another stop sign or intersection or
And none
something
of
like
those
that,
are.
and none of those are actually, yeah, they're all down the
I
roadway.
see Joe tomorrow, but I don't think we can exempt out because
Because we don't want them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so nobody feels that we have congestion or traffic or safety concerns that would stop them? Or you're going to stop and talk to
I can
them?
stop and talk to Joe.
Okay.
Congestion, safety,
Yeah, he said because of congestion, traffic, and safety concerns would be the reason we could ask to be exempt. We could request to be exempt.
Yeah, safety
What is
questions.
number? 614
But we're allowed to pick and
466.
choose.
I know where he's.
7173. Okay.
We have safety questions regarding,
Okay.
so
And
you're gonna contact them?
yep, I'll stop in tomorrow and see him.
I don't have a problem with them just making them stop signs if that's what the law
No,
requires, then that's
no,
what we
it
have
is.
to do. And also too, ODOT sent us a notice, and we got the text today, that Bedell Road in Berlin Township is going to be closed between Berlin Station and Leffingwell for 60 days beginning today.
Berlin Station and Leffingwell
Yes,
closed?
Bedell Road is going to be, Bedell Road is going to be closed between Berlin Station and Leffingwell for 60 days.
And that's from ODOT?
Yeah, well, the county, yeah, I'm sorry. It is the county. They're gonna do the bridge painting and repairs. But they'll-
Closed for 60 days.
Mhm.
That's gonna involve school.
Mhm.
Hmm.
The kids from that section don't have to go to
Yeah,
school.
that's right.
Oh, okay.
That's all I have.
Denny?
I have some correspondence from the Department of Veterans Affairs. They called and they couldn't send for Wayne Martin Peck. They wanted to send a veterans a marker for the grave.
P-A-C-K or P-E-C-K?
P-A-C-K.
Okay.
That's the name of the,
North Cemetery.
yes. And they're he asked if he could send it to my place, and I told him to go ahead and send it to my place, and we would make sure that it gets sent up to the North Cemetery.
Who's gonna put it on?
I'll put it on if nobody else wants to. It's just a-
Usually the one we've had, they've installed them. They've come up and actually put
Or
them
we could
on.
have,
No, I mean, the vet or whoever brings them, don't they typically put the,
We've put them on before.
Have ya?
Yeah, we just
Okay.
get the caulk from Lodge Monument, what he recommends, and they just glue it onto the back of the stone.
oh, okay.
Or
he said that.
unless we don't fit on the stone, then we have to set a footer.
And I had some correspondence from Attorney Tim George and Associates on our 17333 Schillings Road. Mr. Shoney from the Board of Health received correspondence from him also that they plan on the demolition of the house and the swimming pool by September the 22nd, if not sooner. This is all going to be done at the owner's expense, which is Robert Larisha.
I'm sorry, Denny, by what date?
They said on here that they'll have it done by September the 22nd or
Okay.
sooner. It says if we get an opening in our schedule for the demolition, we may be moved up to an earlier date. The attorney said that they've already made the payment, half of the payment, to have it done. So hopefully we keep our fingers crossed that might get cleaned up in that property. And that's all that I have.
Okay. Rick?
Okay. Need a motion, I got 2 firefighters that need to have their 104-hour class. That'll be Brett Sedefani and Danny Rosati. That'll take place at the Mahoney County MCCTC, $600 a person. Now, the state is supposed to pay for that, and it was filed directly with the school. The school's filing it with the state. So, I just want you to know, I'm sending them with the intention that the state is paying for it. Once again, last year, we got screwed out of that. So, you need to make a motion for $660 per person.
660?
660?
$660 per person, plus books, which will be $150 to $170. That one, we will be responsible for it. So you have about $300 to $320 or $40, yeah, in books.
What's when you're saying that the state, is there a
State
problem?
Fire Marshal has a grant out for it.
Okay, is there
But
a
if they
problem?
run out of money, then they cut it off.
All right.
We have a
What is
motion.
it, a first come, first served
Pretty much,
thing?
yeah. Depends
Really
on
like
the
the
classes
cemetery
are held.
last time before they run out of money.
Yeah.
And this one starts September 16th, so I'm hoping, I've already signed all the paperwork and everything, so hopefully.
Okay.
We have a motion.
We need a motion of $830 per person. The $1,660 would be their total for the class and the books.
Mm-hmm.
I'll second. You said you don't know, it's between 150 and 175.
150 and 170.
170.
Or 150.
So I figured the 170. I just figured it might have, it's less than fair.
Yeah.
So we're going to make a motion of $1,630.
You made it. She seconded. And I vote yes.
Okay.
I also need $100 to send Becky and Tommy Kirkner for oil well training.
A per person or
No, that's for about $50 a piece.
Does the
to,
state reimburse for that?
No,
They used to. They
to
don't?
what?
not for oil well.
Oil well.
State will do
Wonder
that.
if we get the
Are
vote
you
on
sure?
that.
I'll have to look. I'll look on the OTA website because at one time they could send and you get reimbursed. It was $50 for, and then it was free because they reimbursed you for it.
Actually, I think it's more than what it is right there, and that's what's left over from the state.
That's for, that's through Ohio Oil and Gas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's our
a grant.
deductible?
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
grant, that's a grant road program down there that they do in southern Ohio.
Yeah.
And, yeah, probably the $50 is what's already removed from the grant to do the class. Because they burn about
Mhm.
$200,000 worth of oil.
Yeah.
in the class.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
They burn
I'll
a
second that.
50 barrels of
We're doing the
oil.
motion is $100 for the two of them.
Or goes
$100 for the two of them, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of cool.
The last meeting we had, we did a price for, at Concoil for the PVC pipe fittings for the
Dry hydrant.
dry hydrants. Remember, and they came back with a higher,
Mhm.
so we need to okay that newer price.
How much was it?
What's that?
What was the new price?
Dolly has it. I don't have it with me.
Hold on.
Dry hydrant, what?
It was like $125 or something like that.
Yeah.
What are those called?
$132.65.
More.
Yes.
135.
They're called,
I'll make the motion. that we pay
PVC
the-
fittings.
And I'll second that.
Jody made, Danny second.
All right,
I
guys,
hit you on camera.
helping.
additional on top of what was already.
Correct. Yeah, I sent out emails on that.
Yes.
Ladder testing is tomorrow in Damascus. Need a motion for that, and that'll be anywhere from, I'm gonna say right around $800. But,
For
Yeah,
all
Joey
of,
said
all of
that.
our ladders. Yeah.
yeah,
Around $800, or do you want it to make it?
let's go 1,000 just to cover it.
She already wrote 800.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Do we have a motion for $1,000 for ladder testing?
I'll make the motion to do the ladder testing for 1,000
Okay, you're on money right
or
now.
less.
Hang on.
You're bankrupt.
Yeah, you're done.
We had a broken lens on engine 37, one of the high ones. Tree must have hit it. It's one of the clear scene lights. So Joey's going up to Warren Fire tomorrow. I just told him to stop there and see if they have one. Won't be under $100.
Just the lens or the whole light?
No, just the cover lens.
Just the
of it,
cover lens?
So,
It's not like a square lens off a bus, is it?
yeah.
School bus?
Yeah, something like that. Well,
I got some clear lenses down that they fit, I'll give it to you.
4x8,
They're
probably.
like on the school buses.
That's what-
Actually, the school gave them to me whenever they were cleaning up. So they could-
Joe can swing there first.
Yeah, you can swing there first.
Yeah,
then.
if it fits, you can have it.
Okay,
If it doesn't fit, do you
We're
need a
into the
motion?
first quarter here.
What's that?
We're into the first quarter here.
DVR.
Yeah,
I knew where this
I'll
meeting
make,
was going.
if it doesn't fit, I'll make a motion that you can purchase it
Okay.
And I'll second the motion. That was for $100.
up to $100.
Isn't that
Thanks.
This, you want to go to him too?
Yes. Label maker. Kevin did some more
Oh.
pricing.
Oh. Really?
Thanks.
Nice.
Got Jason's,
No, I don't need my picture anyway.
Now, with supplies, this means, this includes...
That's cards, badge holders, the clips,
Mhm.
the lanyards.
Okay,
You'll have colored ink, black ink. 500 cards is $76. And you have slot punch to punch them. The holders. It comes to about, I think they total 2,237.
Okay, so what about the ink? How many cards does the ink do?
I was just gonna get an extra set, because that'll do 100, correct, Kevin?
300 cards. It'll do 300 printings.
The first set, or what comes with it?
The ink, yeah, the ink.
Okay, my question is, if you have, say, 20 people, and it makes 300, is it gonna dry out like a regular
Is
printer
there
would?
expiration on it?
That's what I'm saying, if you buy it, even if you buy it, you're gonna have more than what you need for what's already installed there, and if you buy an extra set, you're gonna have more than what you need that possibly might drive, I mean, how many years, even if you had to change it every year, it would take you a while to use it all.
You're gonna,
How much is the ink?
it's only, black's $16 and the color's $87.
Take
So,
the ink off there. 'cause I'm
So
sure
where
that
can
would
you,
expire.
where do you buy the ink from? You have to buy is a specialty ink for,
ID
Yeah.
warehouse.
Company?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, what about the software?
it's included.
it's
yeah.
included,
The software is included with the unit.
yes.
Okay, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
That particular unit is about, I don't know, the size of that manila envelope, you know. It sits on the desk and just plugs right into your PC. Comes with the USB cord and the power cord and all that stuff. You just plug it
Okay,
in
so
and
then
and
it's
put your
all-
driver in and it programs your computer.
Okay, so
and
the
whatnot.
information that you're putting into for the ID cards.
Will be in the secured computer at the fire
In
station.
the computer, not in here, but actually in the
In
computer.
the PC itself, yeah.
Right.
In the computer.
Yeah.
The computer, not in the printer.
Okay.
That's just like if your inkjet printer.
Okay,
Yeah.
So could another department then, could we do these for other departments and hook into their computer and charge them?
Well,
I wouldn't get into that. I would
Yeah,
just,
you'd
if they
have to
want
take
us
it
to
to
do
them.
them, we can just do them and charge them whatever the cost is, just to help the other neighboring departments.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking, just for supplies.
Yeah.
and I would think that if you get enough to do 300 of them, and you guys, I mean, if you're saying it's coming into effect now, everybody's gonna need them, and you get the mutual aid people, and you're doing them all, just charging per one, whatever the cost is, it would help you use up the ink so it wouldn't dry out, and you have
Right.
the supplies, but I think that's probably the best way to go. I mean, you'd what, just divide it by supply cost, by how many?
Yeah, and while Rick and I was discussing this and looking into it, and a couple of things we thought too, with the ID cards, and like you say, we put the date larger on the ID card, so it's an annual renewal thing. So when the BMV, when you turn in your BMV, that puts you in good standings with the department. Also, on the back of your ID card, we can put all the care work information, so you have your work comp information on there, and anything else that we might want to include. You know, I mean, you might need a magnifying glass to read it, like your driver's license are now, but at least every member of the department, the trustees, township workers, will have an ID
So what
with
about,
that information on it.
but what,
And
but
the
the
crime
magnetic, yeah,
And-
the
and
crime,
crime
or the magnetic strip on the back, you need, and how is that gonna work with the software with the hospital for the EMTs to be able to use it for a key?
From what I understand, that is included in here.
With the encoder.
With the encoder. So all you do is get their information,
There's a-
put it in there, and,
And they will readily give that to you.
oh, yeah, they have to.
Okay, so
Yeah,
the
where
fact
you're
that
gonna
the
get it.
information's on the computer, say you have a firefighter that quits, now you have all his personal information there, you're able just to delete that out?
Because it's on the computer, right?
Yeah, also, most of that stuff is public knowledge, like
Yeah.
your EMT ID and certification numbers and all that stuff will be on there. Your address is on there.
But
We
not
probably
like
no
your
need-
social security
No,
number, none of
no
that
need
stuff
for a
is on there?
social or a birth date or anything like that, just,
Oh.
just name and address, and
See,
then
and that's
we'll
what I
add
was
department,
concerned
we'll add
about,
department
especially like
information on
with
that.
virus software or anything like that.
Yeah. No, you don't put no
Yeah,
person.
well,
So this is just kind of like a printer.
yeah, that's all.
It takes stuff off of the computer and
Yeah.
prints out this
With the
card.
ability to put stuff on the magnetic strip to use
Right,
for
yeah,
other
and you can,
purposes.
and you can even watermark them and put, if we needed to get real fancy, but I don't think we need to get that fancy with
No.
fire department ID.
Are they laminated?
Yes.
Is the lamination in this process?
Yeah, I think so.
They're
I think that one does, yeah.
they're like similar to a driver's license
Mhm.
and plastic.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
quite as durable, because it'll be a thinner laminate.
Yeah.
But the magnetic
But-
strip has to be able to take the wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
But the card itself,
They're cheap, they only cost you about 9 to 10 cents to make a
I
card.
forget what the maximum millimeter of plastic, there's like 2 or 3 sizes that machine would take. And there, you can get, we looked into the ones that actually burn your picture into the plastic, and they jump up to $6,000, $5,000, $6,000.
So what's different between this one and the one you talked about at the last meeting?
We just
We found different price,
shopped around.
shopped around.
And what
We
is
said
the,
3,000 last time.
what are the, yeah, I know, but what are the features different on this one that was on the other one that you looked at first?
No, it's all the same.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just a different vendor.
Okay. This is online purchase,
What's that?
an online
Yeah,
purchase?
yeah.
Yeah,
And if you have technical problems with it, who
There's
do
a
you have
technical
to?
number,
yeah.
support number that comes with that. Is that the ID warehouse one? I looked at
The ID
it. Yeah,
wholesaler?
or wholesale, yeah.
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 Well, maybe we should wait for somebody else to buy a printer, and then we could supplement them for their expenses instead of selling it.
Do what? It's an option,
I haven't heard about
but,
this.
you know,
thing.
but- well,
Yeah,
you know, we
who's-
need,
who's-
if we do the annual IDs, and then you also do, accountability tags, which we paid for in the past
Yeah.
too. We can keep them updated also, which go on your gear. When you go into a fire or you're on a fire truck, you have to leave that tag with that truck, so you have accountability.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of options and a lot of needs that we could
So you
supplement
guys
this
want
for.
this, it's not required?
Right.
Yeah. if they want.
You can put a set in the squad, because what I'm gonna do is anybody does the EMS call, they're gonna have to have their ID on.
So it is a need.
Huh?
It
It is
is
a
a
need.
need.
Yeah.
It's
Full-
not
That's what
just,
she asked, she is it a
There
want
is
or
a
a
need.
need?
is it a
Oh, there's
want or
gonna
a
be a
need?
need. When the hospitals do their, changing of their code, you're gonna have to have a magnetic strip.
Yeah. I forgot about the name tag. I thought, we can't, was thinking, it's like, it'd be nice for all the EMTs, I go to an EMS call in my work clothes, well, no one knows I'm a medic or who I am, but if
Especially
that
when you're in
tags,
the hospitals.
if that tag's in the ambulance, I can grab that, clip it on me, and my name, Berlin Township Fire Department, is visible to the public and to the hospital, so they don't think I'm,
I've even got a
somebody
question
that came off the
up
seventh
at
floor.
St. E's Main, the cops are all over up there, you
So
know.
like what's Ellsworth, and Canfield, and Green, and all those guys doing? They all have their own machines?
I don't know what you know. I don't know what it was.
Ellsworth is buying theirs.
Huh?
I think Ellsworth bought theirs the last couple, well, like we did,
Mhm.
last couple of times.
Oh, bought their
Bought
tag.
their tags.
Yeah. It's a big expense. I didn't really like it when Rick first mentioned it. More, we sat down and looked at all the
It is.
availability. I felt it was a nice necessity.
Well, my feeling is, like we said before, if we can have other townships that would buy the cards, and I'm not talking like 9 cents a card, I'm saying, if, what would be a fair, what do we have
Like
to
a
pay?
card or something like that.
Actually, Ohio Revised Code allows us only to charge what our actual cost is. We can't charge them and make
Or
any
it
kind of
costs us
profit.
$2,000?
That's,
You
no, you
buy
have
your
to charge
costs
it
and your
just like,
supplies and,
just like when you print something off for somebody, for
yeah,
another entity.
you can't
have-
charge any more than like 25 cents or something like that.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't charge the
But by the
cost
time
of
you,
the printer.
right,
Right.
so it's going to be nominal to charge other
Right.
entities for it. My concern before was about having social security numbers or private information on somebody else's computer by going somewhere
Yeah.
else and having that done.
Buying
People
online,
consider-
buying IDs online, we looked at a couple places. I forget what the exact numbers were, but it was about a 7-year turnaround, 7 to 8 year turnaround
6 year.
for us to
6 year.
6 years to
Mhm.
eat the
Here,
cost of the
information
machine.
staying Here,
Yeah.
instead of sending it out.
What's that?
Oh,
At least this option, the
Keeping it
information stays
in-house.
here instead of
Yeah.
sending the information out someplace else.
Well, I can see the benefit for the department for, I think that if you think that it's needed and this is what's going to be required, then
Well, you can be required to buy them regardless, so it's a matter of whether you spend the money to have them made for you, or whether you need the cost now. And,
Right, but
you
my-
know, here's my thing, if you just put it out there for a whole bunch of departments to use, it's not gonna last your 6 or 8 year turnaround, that's what I'm saying.
For a quarter.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you have something that's made to do 300 cards and you're only printing, how many active firefighters do we have right now?
You're gonna do
12?
80-some cards, you're gonna print 4 cards for each firefighter.
4 for each. How's
One
that?
for the helmet, or one for their helmet, one for the squad from themselves, and one in 32.
So it's not just one card for, there's
Right.
4 cards for
4
each
cards.
individual.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, that's the difference. Really.
Okay.
Somebody had a question.
What's the total cost on this?
Plus the
Roughly
flood,
$2,500.
about $2,500.
And you can't find somebody else that'll make them. And you got all this equipment to maintain, and it's gonna be out of date.
That's what we said, we can find somebody to do it. But our information is then sent out, and in 6 years, it pays for itself.
Actually,
And somebody else has their information,
yeah.
has their social security
But I
number
understand
and
what
everything.
Mr. Rose is
Yes.
saying, because you know
Actually,
what?
it's gonna be less than 6 years. It's actually gonna be about 4 years. We could, well, might even be or less than that. Because you're gonna do 250 a run, and then that's gonna be, it'll pay for itself for 3 years.
Who sat here long enough, it may be a year, huh? It just seems ridiculous to pay for something that you can get somebody else to do. Our information's out there anywhere. Anybody wants it, it's there, you know.
No.
It seems, you gotta be careful where you give it.
It's a convenience.
Yeah.
It's a luxury item, it's a convenience.
How soon do you think this was a necessity?
A year. I would say.
So do you have any prices of how much it would cost to have them sent out to be made?
Yeah, about $200 to $250 for each for a round. So that's what I'm saying, 250, and that was for each one, right, Kevin? Just one per.
Okay. That'd be for each round, 80 to 90
And when you say
IDs.
each round, that means
80 to 90 IDs.
Every year?
Yeah.
Per-
Every
yeah.
year?
I mean, if we send them out, we probably would go every 3 years, or each time a firefighter renewed your certifications come up for renewal on your birthday every 3 years. So if we did a send-out thing, every 3, it would be a
So your
continuous bill
certifications
through.
and everything are all listed on that?
Excuse me?
Your
Yes.
certifications are all listed on that too?
Yes.
What about when new people come in?
Well, yeah.
Just send it out and do it.
Yeah. That mean, if we did the ID thing, it'd be a send-out thing. It would be a bill that would be coming in on
Okay.
All
Well,
the
if it's a
time.
year away, then we can continue doing some research and talk about it some more.
Yeah, I guess at this point, because of the cost of it, to me, it's like computers. You buy the hottest thing today, and tomorrow it's obsolete because they're doing something else. That would be my concern, that you have $2,500 of your hard-earned money invested in something that now next year they're going to use microchips for or something, or the magnetic strip's not going to be any good anymore, and then you have to change that all over again. Then what do you do with it?
Really, I see a lot of the credit cards now that are losing the magnetic strips and going to the chips.
Yeah.
So we
So,
can talk about it.
That's fine.
All right. Thank you for the information.
all
I
good.
appreciate the picture of myself.
Probably did you see it now?
Yeah, I saw it. Kevin?
I don't see why you do that.
A couple things. We talked about the crack machine. Also, I looked, a lot of our ditches, they are starting to get some growth back into the roads from the backside of the ditches. Our mower can't, the side mower that we have on our tractor can't reach the deep backside of the ditches, especially with the weather we've had for the last 2 years. I've called around. No one rents a Tiger mower or a boom mower anymore. At least I couldn't find one. I did talk to Grace Services. They do not rent their machine out anymore either. It has to come with the operator. And the cost for this would be $105 per day for Grace Services to come in and mow the backside of the ditches.
How many hours a day?
Well, 8 hours a day. I estimate, depending on If we want to just go in and hit the bad sections, Mill Road, Berlin Station, Weaver has a few spots.
You
If we
can't-
spot, we're figuring on 40 hours of work there. If we go through and clean back and do all the roads, you know,
You said
hit all the spots. we can
$100
look
an
at-
hour or $100 a day? You said day.
Yeah, $105.
No,
day?
it's more
No,
like an
that's
hour.
an hour,
I was
sorry.
gonna say $13 an
Yeah.
hour. Do it.
No, yeah, sorry, per hour. $105 an hour.
So you're
Last
talking
time we
about
had-
$300 a day.
Last time we had it, Dick actually called the property owners and said if he could go on the inside and mow one pass on the inside of the ditch.
Well, I mean, but
Property.
like the wooded areas, that's what I'm talking.
You're talking
You
about
go down
the
Mill
sidearm
Road,
mower to get the,
yeah, you can't get back on the properties. I actually started doing some cutbacks, like on Hoyle Road and Weaver Road today. Reaching out and getting back in there, but it's just so muddy right now. Just trying to get the bad spots. And a couple intersections, we had a couple complaints on Hoyle and Weaver and Ellsworth Road, so I got them cut back today. But I don't know, it's just something to look, I mean, where you're out driving around looking at the township roads, like I said, Mill Road is definitely needed. The more shade you have laying on the roads, the quicker the roads fall apart. We gotta get them.
been 3 years, 2
Cut
years
back.
since we had them.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And Berlin Station has that one spot in the woods.
You say nobody has a sidearm mower that we could rent?
No, I even called that boss, and they said we don't, you know, obviously if you ever use one of them,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough piece of equipment, yeah.
Mhm.
So, well, you know, we used to rent Graces.
Mhm.
Jerry used to let us get that for a couple weeks and go through and use it at our own leisure, but they don't rent it out to anybody anymore.
No, last time they did it.
Right.
So they go, yeah.
Mhm.
So, but that's the price, but I just
We're
wanted to
just
get
saying
that.
105 an hour and they're just
105 an
about
hour, yeah.
40 hours.
Yeah,
just for a week.
40 hours would get things cut back and a good start on it. I'd like to take the, now that my 1 ton's done, I'd like to take the international dump truck down to Alliance Motors and have them do a DOT inspection on it, check everything out before winter. I know there is one spring that has a crack in it, and my air buzzer's not working, and a lot of little things like that. Figured I'd have them do the inspection and then write up an estimate for repairs.
Okay, where do you want to take that?
Alliance Motors, they've been doing a pretty good job for us. A little bit smaller, a little more personal than Cerny. So the DOT inspection's $150.
Do a motion for
I'll
the.
make that.
We will need tires for that. Springer tires and Sebring can get tires at the state bid pricing. Smith got their tires there, Goshen got their tires there. But we'll worry about that a little later, but I just wanted to, that's gonna be a big expense. And I know we put
How
that in
big
the,
is big?
we put that in the expenditures
Probably what,
earlier
$300
this year.
there?
We have it in, remember, we put international truck on there? Because you tried to take that money, I said, no, you better leave it there.
How big is big?
I don't know, I haven't bought any big tires in a while.
$300 a tire.
If he's a tire tires, he's looking at $2,000 for
Yeah,
them.
I was thinking
Oh.
2,000.
Okay.
They're close to
all right.
$500 a piece.
Okay.
I was expecting more, I thought more.
I mean,
I don't know trucks, so.
20,000, I don't know.
No, not that big. You sound like Cindy now when I talk money. Over the last few months, diesel prices have been holding at about $3.99 a gallon. I know last year we spent a little over $11,000 in diesel costs. Talked to First Choice Agland. They can send a bulk tank out here for us for free, and they get the diesel price a little bit cheaper. Actually, at the time, last week, he could have got us diesel in here at $3.58. He says a good average to tank is 25 cent savings per gallon through the year. Razul's been running out of diesel on a regular basis. We've been going down to the country pantry and filling up. Same price, just distance of travel. Also, time frames. Dorm opens up at 8 o'clock. I like getting started at 6 o'clock, and if I forget to check gas gauges out sometimes in the morning. I just wanted to look into the option, if you guys, what you thought about maybe setting a bulk tank to sit, it's a 520 tank, double walled. It would sit right out there behind the recycle bin, or recycle barn, in between the recycle barn and the fire station. It'll be secured with a lock. Fire trucks can fill off of it, once again, at any time at night. You know, if the squad pulls in at 11 o'clock at night and from a squad run, you know, quarter tank full because somebody missed it, you
And how
know,
would
the
you
fuel's
keep
there.
track? Because it's
Everything's, it'll be metered, and we'd have to keep a running tally sheet of what
Okay.
truck is getting fuel.
So I would know where to pay whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to be charged for the road department
I mean-
fuel, do you?
Yeah. Fuel alone, did a rough figure, it'd be almost $800, $1,000 savings a year just in our fuel cost.
Does the township get a special price on this diesel?
Yeah. There's a little bit of savings there. You get the government cost when you buy it bulk.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know I mentioned
By the time.
I mentioned $3.58 to Rich Allison, and he was like, "Where did you find that price at?" I don't. What you?
With 500 time.
Now it fluctuates with the market.
Yeah, that they check that every morning. They also they put an electronic device on the tank. It gets down to 25% full. They can, if we want to go automatic, which I would recommend. The guys come in the morning, read everybody's meter, and if it's below a quarter, they come and top it off. And you know that fuel price is checked every morning. That's the price you get. First choice buys off of Marathon and BP, depending on who's the cheaper. Agland also, they run an additive in their fuel all winter long. Goshen used them, had no problems. Actually, Jimmy had a problem with the new truck, and it came back to the tank had algae in it. So it wasn't Agland's fuel, it was the tank itself. So they had to put some cleaner in that. Now, Denny knows, how many filters did you sell him last year for?
Well, less than I have since I fixed it.
Yeah.
That gets more than algae stuff.
So,
You check with Lowman.
yeah, there's, prices are the same. I also, I'm good friends with Rich Allison, and he has his own tank, so he calls both places when he goes to fill up for the trucks, and he says it's usually 2 cents one way or the other. The price don't change much.
Heating
But
oil,
he still goes with the cheapest, but
heating oil is always a lot cheaper.
yeah.
Heating
So,
oil, a lot.
but I think with the government pricing, that it probably be pretty close to the same.
It's a little more stable.
Yeah. So. But that's something that I could call the salesman, or Dolly could call the salesman. And I called him. I got the number from Jim, and I called him, and he was here in an hour. I was like, I'm not buying nothing today. I'm just asking for a price. You could have came anytime this week. Oh, well, I'm in the area. Yeah, whatever. But also, if going with Agland and regular deliveries, we can also start purchasing our oils and lubricants and antifreeze. You probably got a bill for an antifreeze the other day. Did it come in yet? Yeah. So, I mean, they
From
supply
Agland,
it from
yeah.
Agland. They supply all that stuff, and it'd be readily available for us since we lost our local vendor.
Well, it seems like a cost saving. Is there an extra charge for this meter reading electronic thing? Or
No,
that's
there's-
We have it on
What does
our.
that mean?
Yeah,
They
it's just-
read it from in somewhere?
Yeah, it sends electronic. Yeah, it's all remote.
Dolly, it's a GPS thing.
Yeah, it's all GPS.
We got a tank in Cleveland, we carried it around. they called, they wanted to know what we were doing with the tank, that the tank kept moving all the time. Because the GPS came in, they were reading all the time. We were on a big lot and we were carrying it with the forklift. Yeah, they're good.
How much is a tank?
Tanks for free. Everything's free, the pump, the hose, the meter. They supply all that.
Isn't there any EPA regulations regarding security, fencing and all?
It's all double wall because of the gallon, yeah.
And then how do you lock the dispenser?
There's a padlock on it, or we can get the round key that shuts the pump down. I just do a padlock. That way.
We haven't had vandalism at the township for a while, and I would really hate if
You
that.
got your cameras out there.
Yeah, I would definitely set it up and readjust that one camera to the back so the pump is in full view at all times.
Okay, so now tell me about the meter thing. How will
You would
they
have
know?
to,
You just measure gallons.
yeah, you basically the same thing. It's going to tell you the gallons usage. So you'll truck 37. This
32 gallons.
yeah, 32 gallons.
Write the miles down so you know which.
Yeah.
Maybe make a little pad of.
I'd make a pad to stay out in the recycle barn. Probably would be the easiest place for it since it'd be convenient for everybody.
But when you accept a tank, you're gonna be locked in to buy it from them.
Yes. Yeah, because they're giving. That's why they're giving.
So
us
if the
tanks.
number climbs, you're stuck with it.
Right.
So actually, let's just say that we do this, we'd have to buy a tank full of gas, and then,
Up front, right?
yeah, up front, yeah, so I wouldn't know who to charge what to.
Right.
Then the next tank, I'd have to pay for it based upon what you used out of the first tank.
So it'd be a guesstimate.
Yeah,
Well, that was what I was that. As far as
half and half to
I mean,
begin
the fire
with.
department should just cover everything. That would be the easiest.
I know.
Half and half.
Depends on what time of the year it is and how much snow plowing he's doing.
It seems like cost savings. I mean, if whatever's running out.
He does frequently. I mean, it's.
I mean,
So
we've talked
contracts
about
come
it
out
before,
there
and
it's like-
Norm's always been here, and you can call him. But lately, over the last year, it's been
My greatest concern is the trouble he's had up there is the moisture you get when you let your tags run down and out. Okay, and then you see what
Yeah, I mean, I just bought 2 fuel filters for the tractor
Yeah.
because of.
Would somebody talk to him? I mean,
What's that?
Would somebody talk to him?
Oh, I would let Norm I'd let Norm know what's going on and why we made the choice.
What did you say the price? $359?
Yeah, 358.1. And we've been pretty much at 399 forever. Yeah, tanks.
I would just figure they only fill it like 80%, so I would just do like 480 gallons, just like a guesstimate or whatever. It's going $1,700.
Mhm.
Any requirements on how much fuel you have to buy?
No,
No,
no requirements on the fuel.
Or-
No contract.
No, there's no contract. We can pull out at any time, and if we choose, or
So it's only, if you only pay every time they fill it up, you're not having to prepay for so many gallons for the year?
no,
or-
you pay for as filled and delivered. He said with the township, they don't worry about all that with the township because they know we'll use the fuel and the turnover's there, and he knows that they're going to get paid because it's a government agency and stuff like that, so.
And so by keeping it at only 25% low, I mean, are we going to get condensation in there at any time?
They check it already, when the guy fills it, they check it. I mean,
They
I know
only let
they,
it get down to 25%
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
would come and
Right,
out, right?
right. And I'm,
They're saying
yeah, they do.
Okay.
This GPS is having algae meter.
It's empty.
It tells them,
What they gotta do.
yeah, it tells them a lot of things.
That's all.
I'm more concerned about the vandalism than I am on
Yeah, I know.
That was the other thing, I was like, well, but it'd be locked and secured. Goshen's had theirs for years, they've gone back then, but they're the ones that, I know they have a bulk tank and use ag land. And, I mean, they had a pump go bad last year during the winter storm, one of the winter storms, and Scott, I forget what his name was. Yeah, Scott came out by 8:30 in the morning, changed that pump out, and had a new pump up and running, and there, there was no charge, the pump's back, we'll get it replaced.
You'd probably want to put the pump where you could hardwire it into a building so that nobody could turn the power on except somebody that had access to the building.
Into the building itself.
Then you don't really have to worry about them stealing the fuel, because without power, they can't.
Yeah, there's no power.
Are there any regulations about how far away from a building it has to
No,
be?
as long as it's a double wall tank. He looked at it, he came out, and I said, how's this look? He goes, oh, yeah.
Most of the tanks now come with a box around them.
Yeah,
But
it's
the
all-
box is supposed to contain the volume that's in the tank,
Right.
so that if you get a hole, it stays in the container.
So the pump would be wired into the...
The recycle bin.
Recycling barn?
Yeah, it's right there. There's a breaker box right there, too, so.
And that's heavy enough to accommodate that?
Yeah,
whatever it
it's
would
just
be?
a regular 110 pump.
Yeah, okay.
Seems like a good thing to me.
I'm good with it. I can't see where you're gonna get hurt. There's no contract. You don't have to have any requirements.
And if the vandals get bad, then we'll do something else.
Yeah, change it.
And you're saying there's no minimum requirement, like a certain amount of, how many gallons you have to buy in a year?
Yeah, I mean, I can give Dolly this information, you can call Scott and go over insurance liabilities and whatever else you need as far
Like
as.
propane and stuff,
covering
sometimes you
it.
have to buy like 1,000 cubic whatever.
Yeah,
And I just wondered if you don't have to do that with that, huh?
yeah, he said there's no requirements like that.
I'm sure with this
They,
much
they
fuel
just,
we buy, we're gonna
yeah,
meet the requirement.
that's what he said, we know that you're gonna buy fuel.
More discussion, or are we ready for a motion?
I'll make the motion that we go ahead and try it.
What's the minimum that we have to keep it if it doesn't work out? I mean, is there a contract of how long you have
It
to?
didn't sound like there was a contract, Dolly can check on that when she talks to, Dolly can do the legal mumble jumble. I play nice guy, thank you.
And where do you want to put it? Inside the
Just on,
recycling?
no, just on the other side of the recycle barn. In
In
between
red?
the, yeah, in between the,
Behind the
fi-
recycle barn? And the
on the
fence?
cement pad. No, on the cement pad on the east side of the recycle barn, between the fire station and the barn.
Recycling.
Okay.
Where the red trailer, this side where the red trailer's sitting
That would
now,
be tucked in there and there's no
kinda
ceiling.
out of sight too. I even asked him, because we had those two drains right there, and he said, no, he said, that's what the double wall tank and all that stuff, because this would be a fine spot for it.
And that's easy enough for all of you to get into to fuel up.
Most of them.
There's the hose,
Well-
yeah. So how do you get the hose if it's tucked back there and you got the fire truck? How are
Well,
you
you
able to
pull
get-
in, well, the trailer won't be there no longer. You'd have to pull in or back up to the thing. And then we'll put, when we set it, we'll decide
Then you can put
how
it
long of a
in
hose you're gonna need to
whatever
catch.
you need.
Yeah.
They'll supply the hose, the nozzle, everything.
Hose, nozzle, automatic shut-off nozzle.
What happens if the automatic nozzle goes bad?
They'll
it's
replace
theirs?
it, yeah.
Okay. So as long as we're buying the fuel, they're supplying the tools.
Right.
Because we're
And then
leasing the tank, or it's
Well,
free, but...
It's free, but you're buying
It's
the
their
fuel
tank.
from them, yeah.
Okay.
He also leaves a couple extra filters for the pump too, because there's a separate fuel filter that the fuel runs through before you put it into
And
the...
that has
Supply
to-
the filters?
Yeah,
That has to be maintained by us.
yeah, I'll change it.
That would be you.
Basically the pump starts slowing down and you go, oh, need to change the filter.
If they're supplying the filters, that's really not a bad deal at all.
Well, we'll probably have to pay for the filters, let's just say. We'll
Oh,
get the
so
filters
it's-
from them, yeah. Yeah, the filter cost will be ours.
Yeah, that's worth the money.
24 foot. Okay, 48 inches. It's fine.
You
Is that heavy?
No, she finds it.
I'm fine, I'm finding it.
Okay, Kevin, I will get a hold of him. Scott, right?
Yeah. He has my
And,
number and stuff too, so.
Okay, we'll see about getting some kind of a contract or whatever.
Yeah, talk to them and see what,
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask him if he can change the exterior from white to gray to match the buildings.
Red.
No, purple.
Can.
Lavender.
Red.
Lavender.
Red.
Lavender.
Red.
You don't want to mix
all
the
right,
lavender.
moving on. All right, probably a subject matter might come up or probably will come up in the Mahoney County trustee meeting, it's Thursday or whatever it is. Salt prices through state bid. Last year, we were purchasing state bid salt for $36 a ton, and we used about 120, 130 ton of it through Berlin Township. We had to set up a contract on, which we discussed, and we made 140 tons is what we contracted for next year, with the school using some and us and that. Summer price for salt was $68 a ton, is what we paid. We got our 40 tons of summer salt stockpiled down in Goshen now. The winter bid price.
I don't want to hear it.
No, you don't. The winter bid price so far from the state is $136 a ton. Pretty much, we've been discussing between Rodney and Jim and Green Township, all the road department guys is
Cut the salt.
we need to tell the state that we're going to renege on the contract. The price is out of this world. There's no way that we can do it. I mean, I told Jimmy, I said, well, I'll stick with the 40 tons that I have now and run grit. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. We can, use the salt for ice pack and those 6 a.m. black ice freezes and run grit the rest
I
of the
would
year.
recommend to do that even
But-
at $68 a ton.
That-
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we were at that too, with the $68. But the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, we gotta see is the state gonna hold us to the fire? That's something that I think if all the trustees, all the townships in Mahoney County stick to their
I
guns.
thought when we did the thing for the 140 ton that we were locked in to buy.
No, we're locked in to buy, but there's no price locked in. That's negotiable. They get you
have the prices by July.
no,
I don't understand.
the summer prices, which was,
We've never had two prices before. It's been one price, and that's what we've been charged during the whole winter.
there was summer price and winter price, but they're usually pretty close together. Like last year, we got the summer price was like $31 and the winter price was the $36.
They were two different prices. I don't remember being one price for the whole year, just charged two different
But
times.
it's like Morton Salts decided to throw out the anchor and try to get all the money that they lost
The
last
state's
year
supposed
back.
to be negotiating.
So what? We told them we were going to buy it. We're not buying
Oh,
it.
that's
If they want to deliver it, we're not paying
Yeah.
for it.
But
Hey,
I-
we didn't sign anything.
Right.
They have no purchase order from us.
Right, that's what we were saying.
They could go
What they-
pound salt.
No pun intended. But that, like the contract agreement on tonnage usage, that's what they use, they compile that so they can say,
Yeah.
here's how many tons of salt we're gonna
Right.
use this winter, what's the price? Well.
Would you only have the capability to stock 60 or 40 tons? Why would you buy more at the summer price and stockpile?
Well, you can do one well, that's what Goshen, I said, well, if we
Why
knew
would
the
you-
price.
I think you just buy now and stockpile.
Well,
But
the
they
summer
can't-
price is done.
Gone.
You get a one-time purchase.
And Goshen
and
doesn't have the
we
facility
usually-
to do 280 tons of
Yeah.
salt.
Yeah, we usually do 80 tons to get it started off of summer price,
They can.
which is
go.
40
We can
tons
just
each
do- We can
township.
just do grit.
Yeah.
And that's,
30
but
intersections and
we
just-
never, no one ever saw the price jumping.
No.
I mean, Jimmy called me and says, guess what price is on salt? And I was like, oh, $100? He goes, no. So,
That's terrible.
But just wanted to give you guys a heads up, it'll probably be on the agenda for, or it needs to be at least
Needs
mentioned.
to be, yeah.
I know Bob is all fired up at Goshen.
Bob McCracken.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago they did this, and that's when the prices came back down because it was the collusion.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, like last year, we were like, oh, man, that price, we'll just run all salt.
Yeah.
And use half the salt and
It
stuff.
jumped up to like
And then this year,
75 or
it's
80 bucks.
totally different. I mean, obviously, I mean, we'll just use grit. There's no problem with that. Salt's nice, but grit works.
Why can't we use beet juice like the state, open a car wash?
Yeah, start drawing beats.
More beef.
Yeah, I know, we did pre-order and all that stuff. Too bad.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
Too
well,
bad.
that's pretty much just.
Too bad.
Pencils
Morton
across the
can
board.
eat their salt.
That's all I was asking for, but just run down the work list real quick so we don't miss Johnny football. During the flooding, there was a big washout on the berm on Weaver Road before the railroad tracks. That was repaired, put some 304s in there and packed it. hopefully it'll stay put until the next washout. The residents in that area are cleaning the ditches and the right-of-ways out. There's a water right-of-way that runs along the railroad bed there, and a culvert that was plugged up. Residents in that area, well, Roger is getting that cleaned up, and hopefully that will help our road situation. Cemetery doing. Also got the dead tree in the front of the memorial tree garden removed. Ball fields are all tucked away, and picnic tables are all stored for winter, since there's no more games back there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get the culvert at the dry hydrant at the church, that ditch cleaned out and the culvert cleared. And the last major rain that we had, all 3 culverts were flowing and we're at like 3/4 full. So they seem to be taken and
I did go back to look, did you go back and clean up some more of that brush that was
yeah,
on there?
actually I obtained a couple loads of asphalt grindings for free from another township and laid it on that right away and filled that, the washouts across there, filled that in too. So, and that should help keep some of the weeds down. Got the corner of the west parking lot here where it seemed to be like a catch-all for everything. I just cleaned that all up, removed the stones, and dumped a load of fill dirt in there and seeded that. Looks much better. I don't know if anyone noticed yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you do. The plumbing is done at the Weidermeyer house here.
The toilet's back on?
No, we gotta redo. I'll redo the floor and start drywalling as soon as I get for inside work here. The way this week's forecast looks, might be this week. Looks like we broke a new record. We had 3 burials in 8 days. All 3 burials went well. We did have a cave-in at the North Cemetery one last Thursday, and Jim Brown had to come back and dig that back out. It was about 1.5 feet of dirt that fell away from a vault that was already in there. It's actually the worst one I've ever had. So we had a nice big hole for the vault. Everything went pretty good. Took care of the Weaver Road problems that we had some complaints about. So you can talk to that person, Jason. Actually, he called me as soon as the tractor went down the road to thank me.
Oh.
Sunoco Pipeline, keeping in contact with them down there. They're doing a good job. Looks like they'll be coming through within the next tomorrow or the next day to do the reclaim work. Been talking with them, they did a good job. They also did a complete shutdown when a funeral went on and they were working in the area. Had no problems with that. So they uphold their contract. Dick's out mowing ditches in between rains. Everything's looking good. Keeping the park and the north buildings mowed. And got started on trimming guardrails and stop signs and stuff again. Second round of them today. That's all I had. You got all that done?
We'll piece it together.
You went down to Mill Road today with the guardrail?
I haven't got to that one yet, but
No,
it's on
because
the-
when you pull off the bridge to go left, the weeds are dead, but they're tall, you still can't see around them.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a
the county-
disability.
Yeah, county sprayed that again, so.
Well, I know,
They're
but
way
it
behind,
it
yeah.
needs to be actually be whacked down right there. It'll take about 2 minutes.
I'll get that. I'm done.
Nope. Said enough.
Said enough.
Mrs. Bob?
Did you say you were gonna rent a crack fill machine?
Well, ours is down.
I would guess, my opinion, I would take it to Ripley's and see what kind of time frame. You still have a month and a half of nice weather. If you spend $1,000 to rent it for 4 days, you need it for 3, it'll end up being 4. It's $1,000. You could spend $1,000 welding a tank on the bottom of the machine and be back to square one. And still hopefully maybe, if he's talking about a 2-3 week window, you still got a month of nice cool weather to go and crack fill. And if it doesn't look,
I hate to say Bob's right, but that makes sense.
Well, I was gonna say, it's approved, you've got, if it's gonna be longer, it's approved. If you don't use it, you
I
don't
can
use
use my
it.
judgment on that.
Yep.
Okay.
God, you're good, Bob.
Good point.
What else you got? Holy shoot, motion to adjourn, hurry, before he changes his mind.
No, wait, we gotta sign this.
Well, we'll do that when they leave.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Formality.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the other side too, Jason.
Okay.
This is the last page of the 10 pages of minutes that have the appropriations and all that stuff on it, and then the special meetings on the other side. Okay. No, I'm not yet.
Again.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes.
Her hair was dark when I got elected.
63. Come on, little son of a- She's close to
I
my
wasn't even
mom.
born then. I know, I got so many.
She's close to being my mom, so I'm not making fun of her.
Yeah, Sean, I can probably give this to you. I'll just make a copy to keep for me,
I was
so
just
you
gonna
get
ask you
this
how quick can I
back.
have it, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it,
Today's the 18th.
Printer word number?
Copiers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fax
printer
machine.
was.
Fax machine and printer that we don't use for anything hardly, it's color.
Okay, what else do you need, Jason? Okay, I'll just give this to you, and then I'll keep a copy. You can get this back to me, and I'll get you the rest of the paperwork.
Okay.
well, would the township be interested in renting a trimmer if it was a few $100s a day with your own operator?
Why, who do you know has one?
I can't tell.
He said I can't tell. We're always open
It's
for
got it
options.
stuck in the back of the garage at home.
Probably piled
You got one, you don't know, Joe.
Probably, probably. Stranger things have happened.
Motion to adjourn? Okay.
Second.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, everybody.